Hello and welcome to another episode of Monday Markets. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out and we really do appreciate it. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. If you don't know what that is the celebration of the first real world transaction using Bitcoin. So back in 2010, a programmer basically bought two large Papa John's pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. Seems like a bit of a rip-off now, doesn't it? But yeah, that was the first real world transaction. And I'm not sure whether the pizza company actually kept the Bitcoin or not, but or what they did with it. But essentially, that's what happened back on this date in 2010. So it's a little meme celebration in the crypto industry. In terms of what's happening at the moment, as you can see, pretty boring price action. Nothing much really happened over the weekend, which is why I always say on last orders on a Friday, don't spend the weekend watching the charts because rarely things happen over the weekend, certainly in recent times. So we'll come back to the charts in a minute. Let's get to the news for the week and what you need to know. Not much coming on this week. As you can see, a few speeches, a few things coming out in other countries, such as interest rate decisions in places like Turkey, South Africa, Indonesia, etc. But they're not really going to affect the market too much. Tokyo CPI again, probably not too much of a decisive reading. But yeah, you got Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey speaking as well. Again, probably not going to be much of a market mover. So probably the most interesting thing is the Fed minutes from the 2nd and 3rd of May meeting. But again, we already know that the outcome of the meeting, so the minutes probably aren't going to do too much damage to the market. The main thing that all eyes are on at the moment is the debt ceiling talks that are continuing. So the problem you've got at the moment is a little bit of politics. So the Democrats are obviously in charge of the United States. So they've got Joe Biden is obviously a Democrat, but the Republicans have a slight majority in the House of Congress, which is where all the laws get passed and stuff. So where you've basically just got them playing politics. Both sides are trying to negotiate a deal which benefits them the most, and so they're just dragging it out, trying to get the best deal possible. So it's a bit of a standstill, and there's still time to go. So they're just going to drag it out until the last minute, and it sort of feels as though that's what the market is waiting for. It's just not really doing anything until this gets resolved. So we are just going to have to wait and see what happens. In terms of, again, US calendar this week, not really much going on. You've got a few things coming out later in the week. On Friday, for example, PCE index, which is very similar to CPI. It's basically the measure of inflation for goods and services. The only difference is CPI is for urban areas only, whereas PCE is basically the whole of America. So, yeah, whether that affects the market or not, we'll just have to wait and see. If we get back to the charts, where were we? There we go. So as you can see, BTC still holding the lows at 26.8k. Yeah, just refusing to break down, although we've already had a couple of attempts to bounce from here and no real momentum. So it really is a complete coin flip as to whether we are going to rally from here or break down and head towards 25k. If we break it down from time frame to time frame, monthly, as we know, rejecting the 29.3k monthly resistance, looks pretty, odds look pretty certain that we're going to close this monthly candle red. We've only got 9 days to go, and as I say, 25.2k does look like the standout level of support. Whether we get there or not, I have to see. In terms of a weekly time frame, as you can see, we're not getting below these wicks from the 20th and 27th of March, which is what that 26.8k level that we're sat on really is. And if we go to the daily, as we know, still stuck on this level. If we go to ETH, refusing to get above that 1820 daily level again, but also refusing to get below the 1783 weekly level. So pretty boring, pretty sideways and choppy. And yeah, nothing else really moving. So apart from the S&P, got another weekly close above 4175. Maybe this rallies up to 4327, which is the monthly range high that we talked about on Friday. Could get people excited, thinking that the bull market's back on, and then have a deep pullback, catch a lot of people out. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But apart from that, that's really the only interesting thing going on. The VIX is still pretty low. As we know that the saying is, when the VIX is low, look out below, and the VIX is high, time to buy. So yeah, I wouldn't be getting too bullish just yet, but that's my personal opinion. If we take a look at some alts then, some trading opportunities for the week for you to watch out for. So BNB, as you can see, still trending down on the weekly time frame ever since it hit that weekly range high. On the daily, the level you want to watch is this 303 daily level, as you can see, key level of support. So if that gets flipped to resistance, could be a nice shorting opportunity. As you can see, short that down to the weekly mid-range, which is that daily level of 273. Could be a pretty decent short. In terms of AVAX, we go to the weekly time frame. You can see close below that weekly level, that weekly mid-range level around $14-15, and looking like a potential bearish retest here. We go to the daily. The key level that it's holding is this 14-19 day level. Again, you can see it's this daily level from the 14th December. It was the lows back here at the sort of mid-March when BTC went down to 20k, and you see a little bounce off it today. If it, as I say, if it were to break this level, bearish retest, you could probably short that all the way down to these monthly range lows, or I'd probably take some profit or aim for this level down here at about $12. Still a very nice risk reward. In terms of DOT, again, so we had a weekly close below, well, we've had two weekly closes now, below that monthly mid-range weekly level at around $5.57. If we go to the daily, you can see it's been holding this daily level at $5.25 for quite a while. Again, it's the 16th of December. It was the lows when BTC hit 20k around 9th, 10th, 11th of March, and it's been holding this level since the 8th of May, so quite a long time. So a daily close below that, bearish retest, and you could potentially short that down to $4.71, the next daily level. Alternatively, if we do hold the lows and we have a little rally, this area up here, the weekly level of $5.57, between that and the daily level $5.64, nice confluence, previous support level, could be a nice area to short from. So we'll have to wait and see. And with MATIC, again, holding this level of 82 cents. If it gets below that, bearish retest down to the monthly range lows. If we go to the monthly quickly, you can see those down here, which is the lows of September, October, basically the past however many months. And if we go to the weekly, again, it's below that weekly level of 92 cents. So again, if we go back to the daily, break below 82 cents, you could short it down to the monthly range lows, or if we have a little rally like I said with DOT, then a short up here at 92-93 cents, basically the confluence of this weekly and daily level. As you can see, pretty solid previous support, this daily level, so could be pretty heavy resistance. So up in around 92-93 cents could be a nice short for MATIC there. So there's some trades to keep an eye on potentially playing out this week. As I say, it's all going to come down to BTC and potentially the resolution of this debt ceiling talks. But in terms of that, not really much else, macro-wise, to keep an eye on. So we've just got to wait and see. So hope you have a good week. Obviously, we'll be back on Friday for last orders, and we'll review what happened in the week, see if any of those trades played out, and we'll go from there. So have a good week, guys, and I'll catch you on Friday.